I'm delighted to see so many familiar faces and some unfamiliar ones. It means an awful lot to me that our relationship means enough to you that you would come out to hear about what I'm doing, and certainly you all are all individually very important to me. My job is a job that I do with my heart and my mind, and as all doctors who are trying to live out their calling, I think, do, and we become attached to each other, and these relationships are meaningful to me, and the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is perhaps to sound a bit melodramatic, is in defense of that relationship. I'm part of a little grassroots rebellion of doctors trying to reclaim our profession and live out what we think we're here for. In the current environment where it's become difficult to do that, and so much of our lives and our work begins to resemble bureaucratic drudgery rather than caring for the lives that are entrusted to us. So I'd like to talk to you just a little bit about why I'm doing it and tell you what it is. This is a model of practice called direct primary care, and the basic notion of that is the direct means that I, as your physician, work directly for you. In this model, my duty professionally, which is to you and to your health, is parallel with our relationship. So in other words, my duty is to you. I work for you. I don't work for anybody else. I am not the doctor brought to you by your insurance company or by the government. I am the doctor that you have chosen if you choose me, and my interests are solely yours and not to any third party that brokers our relationship. So direct primary care was like an oasis in the desert for me. Like I was stumbling, kind of parched through the wilderness of modern medical systems, which I'll try to talk mostly about what I'm doing and not about the forces that are opposed to me, but it's hard for me to talk about that without speaking to some degree about that. But in any case, over the past many years, I've struggled with the feeling that the work that I was called upon to do by the people who pay me is not the work that is of my calling, right? So I was in tension between what I really felt like my profession calls me to do, how to care for people, is in tension with the type of day-to-day work that I'm in fact obligated to do in order to comply with various regulations and to meet the requirements of the people who pay me through your insurance. The direct primary care, in the midst of sort of professional malaise and feeling like I wasn't quite doing what I thought I was called to do, became known to me through my wife, finding out about a fellow in Apex who had the vision to start doing this many years ago, and that's Brian Forrest right over there at the front row, and he'll be up later and will speak to all of y'all and help me to answer questions that I don't yet know the answers to about how this model works. But he had the foresight to know years ago that he as a physician should work for his patients and directly without the third-party intermediary. And so he bravely started doing this when there was no roadmap at all, and has pioneered it and figured out a way to do it. And my wife found out about him and introduced us, and that's been a year or so ago, and now we've gone down this path, and so here we are. And somewhere along that path, I sought the counsel of the person other than my wife, whose counsel probably means the most to me, which is my nurse Roxy Bittner, and she's in the back there, so bravo. And once I told her about what I was doing, and she thought about it and didn't tell me not to do it, encouraged me to do it, then I started down the path that's led to here tonight. And by great good fortune, I was able to do this in a timeline that met with Roxy's timeline, and so she is coming back to be my nurse, and together we're going to try to be. I'm going to try to live out my calling as a doctor and care for people the way I think I should, and I know my nurse looks forward to working as living out her calling as a nurse, right? So we're looking forward to taking care of as many of you as would like to come, and so I'd like to get on to sort of the nuts and bolts of this for you in terms of what it is. I know many of you, upon hearing about this idea, maybe it resonates with you, the idea that I would work directly for you rather than for your insurance. But you know, since we're so accustomed to our healthcare being financed through insurance, probably your next question is, well, but how does that work? How is that even possible, or what does that mean? So, of course, in simple terms, it means that you pay me instead of paying your insurance. But there's some subtleties to that, and I'd like to, you know, we'll just want to flesh that out well. And so for most of the nuts and bolts explanations, I'm going to lean on the person who's been doing this for 15 years or 16 years. And that's Brian Forrest. Before I go to that part of the presentation, does anybody have any questions at this point for me about, you know, what the heck are you doing, or why? Does anybody want to throw a tomato, or you know, I've had reactions from angry to happy to all kinds of things, and I guess probably your reaction tonight is just curious, you know, wanting to know more. But,